Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning for the Rotherham Metropolitan Borough Council Community Opportunities Flexible Purchasing System. We're looking this morning at section 7 of the application form. You may be aware, and you might have joined us actually on Friday, where we went through sections 1 to 6. If you weren't able to join us, but you're joining for section 7, and you would like to see the recording and the slides from that, it should be coming out in the clarification questions, or you'll be able to get the video from the Go for Growth YouTube. So please do feel free to go to our YouTube channel, where you'll see the slide deck that we went through and the video recording as well. So we are looking at section 7 this morning, just to do some quick introductions as people are joining us. My name is Gillian Askew. I'm one of 3 co-founders of a micro-social enterprise called Go for Growth. We are a partner with Rotherham Council, and our job is to support the marketplace when they are seeking to either start out or grow in the public sector, including specific procurement opportunities like the Community Opportunities FPS, the Flexible Purchasing System. As we did on Friday, the session is being recorded today, so we will get a copy of the slide deck and a copy of the recording out to all registered attendees, usually within 24-48 hours of the session, but hopefully we'll get those things out today. And again, we will send them also to Rotherham Council so that they can be pushed through the clarification process as well. We are on Zoom, as you know, so we do have both the Q&A and chat function enabled today. So if you have any questions as we go through, please do feel free to pop them either in the chat or in the Q&A functionality. I'll keep an eye on both. I have carved out a little bit of time towards the back end of the session today for questions, but please do feel free to put any questions into the Q&A or the chat functionality as we go. Please don't feel you have to wait. So we are covering section 7 of the Community Opportunities Flexible Purchasing System in this session this morning. It will probably take us about 20 minutes or so. So if we start with these additional questions, 7.1 looks at insurances. So insurance self-certification, usually at the level specified within the tender documents. The normal kinds of insurances that public sector are looking for a goods and services type contract, so non-construction type contracts, would be employer liability, public liability, professional indemnity, and on occasion product liability as well. In the case of this particular opportunity, the local authority are looking for employers' liability insurance. I believe there is a compulsory minimum of 5 million on employer liability. They're looking for 10 million employer liability for this particular opportunity. Public liability insurance also at 10 million, and professional indemnity insurance at 2 million. All of those insurance levels are in the document, so please do double check those documents. The ITA return document, part 3, it will tell you specifically what those insurance levels are, and for every procurement that you are seeking to submit a response to, it will always tell you in the documents what the insurance levels are that are required for this particular procurement. If you wish to query any of those insurance levels, or indeed if you wish to query anything in a procurement competition, you would do that through the clarification process. As this is an FPS, effectively it is always open. You should be able to submit those questions at any time. But in some procurement competitions, the clarification process would be time sensitive. So it's worth checking what those timescales are on the clarification process as well. You'll also be asked about data protection in section 7. And what you can see on screen are particular questions that are in this specific procurement that we're covering today. So 7.2a, please confirm that you have in place, or that you will have in place by contract award, the human and technical resources to perform the contract to ensure compliance with the UK General Data Protection Regulations and to ensure the protection of rights of data subjects. And that's a yes/no answer that you're required to provide there. You will also then, at 7.2b, be asked to provide details of technical facilities and measures, including any systems and processes that you have in place or will have in place by contract award to ensure compliance with GDPR, the UK General Data Protection Regulations, and to ensure the protection of rights of data subjects. Your response should include, but not be limited to, facilities and measures such as to ensure ongoing confidentiality, integrity, availability, and resilience of processing systems and services. So how will you ensure that those systems are maintained, that in business continuity measures that you will be able to manage that confidentiality, that data processing, and in line with the GDPR regulations. How you will comply with the rights of data subjects in respect of reviewing privacy information, access, rectification, even deletion and portability of personal data. So when you're capturing personal data, the rights of those data subjects mean that they can ask to receive privacy information, they can access their own data that you're holding for them, they can ask to be forgotten, so they have a right to be forgotten. So how will you delete that personal data? You're also asked about any consent-based processing to make sure that they meet the standards of active informed consents and that such consents are recorded and auditable. So how do you ask people if they're okay with the personal data being captured, stored, and how that data will be used? Usually that kind of information will be held in your privacy policy, but what you must have is that consenting process. So for example, in Go for Growth, we have a newsletter process. We only send our newsletter to people who specifically consent to being added to our newsletter database. That consent is recorded, and only once we have that consent is the personal data, name and email, business name, personal name, email address added to a database where the newsletter is attributed to. And we also give details of how to opt out of that at any time should you want to, and that goes with every newsletter. If somebody then does opt out, our internal process is that we remove that person from that newsletter and they therefore won't get that content any longer. So it's thinking about those things. How do you receive consent? And when that consent is revoked, how do you make sure that you delete that content so that that person is not, you're not storing that personal data any longer. So you'll be also asked about legal safeguards that are in place to legitimise transfers of personal data outside of the EU, and that's only relevant if such transfers will take place. So if you're storing data anywhere other than the United Kingdom or the European Union, they're asking you about legal safeguards. They're also asking about maintaining records of personal data processing activities. So what do you do with that personal data? And to regularly test, assess and evaluate the effectiveness of those above measures. So in 7.2b, the authority are asking you to explain details of those technical facilities and measures, including the systems and processes that you have in place to cover those bullet points. And not necessarily just limited to those bullet points as well. You may have more things in your data protection processes that you want to add, but they are asking about those as a minimum. We're also looking at health and safety in section 7.3. So there is a question in there that says, please describe the arrangements that you have in place to manage health and safety effectively and control significant risks relevant to the requirement, including risks from use of contractors where that might be relevant. And they're asking you to use no more than 500 words. You might have particular accreditations around health and safety. So you might have the Contractors Health and Safety Accreditation, the CHAS accreditation, or you might be you might have other relevant qualifications or accreditations that will help your business to demonstrate that you have got health and safety policy and process under control. If you don't have an accreditation, that's fine. It's not asking for one, but it might be then about referencing your health and safety policy, about describing your approach to providing a safe system of work for you. And if you're using contractors, especially where they're involved in core delivery, how you will keep those contractors safe also. So what is that safe system of work? And in something like community opportunities, that health and safety might extend to particular safeguarding, which there is a specific section on safeguarding, but your health and safety approach might extend to safeguarding as well. So you might also reference safeguarding, for example, in the health and safety section here at 7.3. We also have 7.4, which looks at payment terms, so 30 days for all supply chain. So it's asking you around how you pay your supply chain and whether that is within 30 days. There is also a modern slavery section, which is only relevant if you're a relevant commercial organisation, so your turnover is above 36 million. And we will talk about modern slavery also. There is 7.6 carbon reduction, so including carbon reduction plans, and then 7.7 looks at safeguarding and quality assurance. There is at 7.7.4 a question around supporting technical and professional experience of delivering community opportunities and services. And you're asking no more than 3,000 words to discuss your experience in delivering community opportunity services, referring to the projects highlighted in section 6 or another relevant contract. And your response must be supported by the following bullet points. So it's looking at how you met the identified outcomes that individuals wish to achieve, including how you identified opportunities to improve the individual's confidence and increase their independence, how you involved individuals in your quality monitoring processes to develop the service and to ensure personalisation, etc., etc., etc. You have 3,000 words, and you would answer this question 7.7.4 for each lot that you're applying for, and there is an answer box per lot. Our advice would be when answering questions like this, you have 3,000 words, which is a lot of words actually. You can break down the question into doing words. So it's talking about discussing your experience in delivering community opportunity services. So that's verb number 1. So we need to answer your experience in delivering community opportunity services. You'll refer to the projects highlighted in section 6 or use another relevant contract if that doesn't refer. And your response must be supported by those following bullet points. So you must include in your response how you've met those, the identified outcomes that individuals wish to achieve, how you included those, or how you identified those opportunities to improve the individual's confidence and increase their independence. So that, as bullet point number 1, has got 2 distinct parts of it. So how you met the identified outcomes that individuals wish to achieve is part 1. How you identified opportunities to improve the individual's confidence and increase their independence is point 2. And wherever you can, if you can back that up with evidence to say, here is how we've done it before, or here is evidence of the structure that we will have in place under this contract if we're successful, to make sure that individuals can achieve the outcomes that they want to, and that we can improve individuals' confidence and increase their independence by doing X, Y, and Z. And for each bullet point, you can do that. You can break each bullet point down into the individual sort of doing elements of those bullet points. So if we look at the second one, how do you involve individuals in your quality monitoring processes to develop the service and ensure personalisation? So how involved are those individuals? So first around, it's about involving those individuals, and then specifically how you involve those individuals in quality monitoring processes and how those quality monitoring processes help you to develop the service and ensure personalisation. When you read your 3,000 words back, you should be able to tick off where you have answered each part of those bullet point questions. And you can use a relevant case study to demonstrate all of the above, but that must be included in the word count specified. So, but in all cases, we would always recommend that when you're answering a question, you can include any evidence of where you have done that, or evidence of how you will do it in the future going forward for this contract. So the infrastructure that is in place to ensure that you will meet those bullet points going forward. Remember, there are 3 lots in this particular opportunity. So if you're applying for more than 1 lot, you would answer that question for each of those particular lots. We then have business continuity. So it is looking for, or this particular opportunity is looking for a business continuity plan, a BCP, to be in place within the first 3 months of accepting a placement. And that business continuity plan should do what it says on the tin. So if there is a disruption to service, you might think about what those disruptions could look like. So flood, fire, global pandemic, for example. How will you ensure that the service that you're offering can continue under duress? How will it continue in the light of whatever disruption there is? And your business continuity plan would be describing what you do. So if you had a total system failure, how would you still ensure that you were able to deliver the service to the individuals that you're delivering the service to and capture the information that you need to capture? How would you take a referral if a referral process is in use? How would you engage the individuals? How would you deliver the service? At 7.7.6, there is a social value section. So this is to registration with the social value portal if you haven't already, and confirmation of policy and contract requirements at 7.7.6. If you haven't registered with Social Value Portal, there is lots of guidance on the Social Value Portal website, lots of guidance in the portal itself. So, but please do also feel free to reach out to Go for Growth if you need any help with that Social Value Portal registration. And in 7.7.7, there is a real living wage question. So at question 1, it's asking you, is your company an accredited living wage employer or a recognised service provider within the Living Wage Foundation? And that's a yes or no answer. If your answer is no, you're not a registered an accredited living wage employer, or you're not a recognised service provider within the Living Wage Foundation, it's asking to confirm your commitment to pay the living wage in accordance with a section X of the council specification. So have a look at the relevant section in the council specification for it, and it's asking you to confirm if you are able to commit to pay the living wage in accordance with that section. And you would put that in the A2 box that you can see in the ITA Part 3 response document, the return document, and also here on the screen as well. And that completes actually section 7. So the only other thing to say is we know and understand that these processes can be challenging to navigate, especially if you're not used to them. Completing application forms may not be the thing that you do very often. So please don't feel that you have to do this in isolation. Rotherham Council are partnering with Go for Growth, and all of the support we offer is offered free of charge at point of access. So there is no cost barrier to being supported by Go for Growth. All our contact details are on the screen. You can come along to any of our bid skills events that we're running, or you can look at past events on our website. There's lots of resources that could help you as well. So please feel free to get in touch if you would like to. We do have an open calendar. So actually, if what you really want is to chat to a human being, you want to talk through this process or any other public sector process that you might be interested in, please feel free to book a 30-minute Teams slot in one of our calendars. You can do so using this link here. We are always happy to help in whatever way we can. So please do feel free to get in touch. Hopefully that was useful this morning. I will just double check. I'll stop sharing my screen and see if there are any questions this morning. Let me just have a quick look. There's nothing in the Q&A or the chat at the moment. So hopefully that's been useful to everyone. Thank you for you all to attending this morning. If you do have any questions outside of this session, as I said, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Our job is to help as much as we can, and we hope to chat with you soon. Have a good rest of your Monday. Thank you.